If you're looking at getting into the cattle business but don't want to lose the shirt off your back like I almost did, here is 10 questions that we've had sent in that will help you not have the failures that I had and set you up for success. These are things that I definitely wish I knew before I started. Question number 1. So I'm new to cattle. Where do I even start without losing my shirt? I'd say the first thing is don't live in South Texas and don't raise Brahmers. Well, what does that have to do with losing your shirt? If you live in South Texas, it's so humid and hot down there, you're gonna sweat through that thing and not gonna want it on because it's uncomfortable. And 2, you raise a Brahmer, they're gonna rip, snort, paw, butt, scrape it off of you, and that's no fun either. But in all seriousness, it is very easy to lose the shirt off your back because it's an expensive game. We love it. We want to be in it. It's cool to own cattle. The lifestyle, the facade around it is awesome. But man, if you don't do it right, it can absolutely break you. But if you do it right, it's so rewarding and so worth it. Number 2, how much money do I really need to get started in show cattle, and what should I buy first? Well, when I got started, I was broke as a joke. I had a truck payment and about $23 in the bank. So I guess that's all you need. But you also need a little bit of savvy that if you're at that point, you're obviously gonna have to start either doing some other type of work to get more money to make your first purchase or go to a bank. And that can be a slippery slope as well. So make sure that you do that properly. And what should I buy first? Here is the secret. What you're gonna want to do, because you're building a herd, is go buy a set of heifers because they're just starting out, you're just starting out, but that is the dumbest thing that you could ever do. Don't buy heifers. If you're trying to make money, if you're trying to build a business, I'm not talking about trying to show and be successful in the show ring. If you wanna be successful in business, don't buy heifers. Your ROI is way too far off in the future, your risk is way too high. So what do you buy? Buy a bred cow or buy a pair. You get cash flow, you get quick turnaround, and you can get sales off of that cow from 2, possibly even 3 calves before a heifer ever could. Always buy bred or pairs. Question number 3, what are the basic things I need to know to keep my cattle healthy and alive? At the absolute basic baseline level is you need good forage, you need some type of shade and shelter, and you need fresh, clean water. If you have those things, you can keep them alive. Also, you need a good fence so you can keep them in that area and you know where they are and how to check on them. But if you have those things, I would then have a good vet that lives close to you or is on call that you can lean on and get information as you go. Because a lot of the learning is going to be from experience from them forward, or you can do some study like you're doing right now on here. Number 4, how do I know if a calf or cow is worth buying or someone is ripping me off? This is a great question. And the main thing is you need to have confidence in you. If you have enough confidence in yourself and you just know what you like, buy what you like. Don't buy what someone tells you is good. Buy what you think is good, because chances are your gut is right. My wife I love her to death. She's my best friend. She's grown up around cattle, but really, truly, she doesn't know what a good one is, right? She doesn't know the ins and outs of it like I do. She doesn't care about it or pay attention like that. But she could tell you good quality, not even knowing the why behind it. She could say, this one's good, this one's bad. So don't let somebody talk you into something that you don't feel right about, even though you think they might know more than you. So have the confidence to trust your gut. Question number 5, what does it actually cost to feed and care for cattle each month? This is extremely variable and relative. One, to the type of cow or calf or bull that you have, its age, its breed, where you live, the size of the area you're having it in, and your end goal. I mean, if you just have a cow, you want to keep it alive and you want her to breed and have babies, then you can just put her in a good pasture and you don't have to feed her anything, actually, maybe some mineral. If you have a real small area and everything that they're eating is something that you're feeding them, I would say you need to probably budget about $12 a day to give them a good ration of feed and hay that can keep them alive, keep them healthy, keep them going. But if you're really trying to push them or give them all that they want, you're gonna have to bump that up to probably around that $15 a day or so, just depending on what hay is costing, what feed is costing in your area. So it's definitely not cheap. Today's episode is brought to you by the Cattle Coach Academy. This is an online course that's whole objective is to help make you profitable. You take your cattle business and what you know, and then couple it with the teachings and strategies that are brought forth to you in this course, and it'll take you to a whole nother level. It is designed and goes into detail about the ins and outs of managing your money, treating your cattle business not so much just as a passion, but as a business. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, click the link below and check out the Cattle Coach Academy today. Now, let's get back to the show. Question number 6. How long does it take to make money in show cattle? And what should I expect in my first year? That is the million-dollar question. The big thing that you need to realize, though, is it does take a while. Why does it take a while? Because one cow has one calf every year, and that's if both of them stay alive. So you're on one cow, you can expect no more than one sale per year. And a lot of times, gestation period, that cow is going to be pregnant for 9 months, and then that calf's going to be about 5 to 6 months old whenever you wean it. So 9 months plus 5, you're looking at 14 months from the time she gets bred to the time it's weaned. Then you have to decide when you're going to sell it. Are you going to sell it as a weaned calf, as a yearling, as a bred heifer? That's where planning takes place, because it's not a quick turnaround. But when you get that cash flow going and you get established, you know that it comes every year, every year, every year. But you have to be patient, because especially if she has a female and your thing is you want to keep the females, that cow, you're going to have to wait till the next year to see any money off of her, because you kept that female back. So she's not going to give you any revenue. She actually gave you another mouth to feed. So it takes some planning. Don't get yourself in a bind. Question number 7. What equipment and facilities do I absolutely need versus what's just nice to have? You absolutely need a good perimeter fence so your cattle don't get out. If somebody runs them over, somebody gets hurt by them, that's on you. So we need good perimeter fences, keep them inside, confined, and safe. And then it just depends on what you want to do with them. For me, you're going to need a set of pins, and they're going to have to be of a certain height. I would say at least 5 foot, so they don't try to jump out. And they need to be secured and not movable, because a cow, when you put pressure on her in a set of pins, she's going to bump into them. She's going to stick her head through them and try to push. So if she can push the whole set, it's just going to collapse and be a bad situation. So a secured set of pins that are strong, immovable, and at least I'd say 5 foot in height, if not 6 foot in height. I also prefer to put my water trough or water source inside the set of pins. That way it trains the cattle to come in, be comfortable in the pins, because they have to come in and out every day for water, and they're easier to catch that way as well. A chute is a nice thing to have, but not a necessity. You can rig up a panel that squeezes them down to give shots or things of that nature. A load out area is pretty beneficial if you ever want to get one off the property and sell them and get them into the trailer. So like an alley, the width of your trailer door would be sufficient. That brings up another deal, a trailer, which has to be pulled by a truck. those things, they don't have to be big. They don't have to be fancy. It depends on how many cows you have. All right, question number 8 out of 10. How do I balance working a regular job while starting my cattle operation? Well, just know that you're in the same boat of about 95% of people that own cattle. Most people do not live off of the cattle or the income that the cattle make. It is a side job, a side hustle, or a side hobby that they have in conjunction with their job. And so you're in good company. The hardest thing to balance is cows don't know your schedule, nor do they care. There's many times that I've had to go fix fence and put cows back in on Christmas morning. The day and the hour that you're leaving for vacation is when a pipe busts or a cow gets out of a fence or a tree falls on a fence and there's something that you're going to have to go do. And so it's very hard to set a structured time of, oh, this is when I'm going to do this. So you're going to have some flexibility. If you're married, your wife's going to have to be on board because it does take time, especially to do things right and to manage these animals properly. It's going to take time, and it's not all going to be scheduled. And so you have to have the personality type and the time to be flexible or make enough to hire somebody to help and be full-time on watch. I would also say if your goal is to quit your day job and go full-time in the cattle, then go for it. And the more time you put in, the more seeds you plant, the more sweat equity you put in, the more it will give back to you, especially if you make the right moves and do it right and with intention and are smart about what you do. So don't be afraid to sow because you reap what you sow. What are the most common beginner mistakes that cost people the most money? I would say that's jumping into the cattle business without having a good plan on doing it the next year. So what I mean by that is a cow has a calf every year, and if you don't have a good plan, then you don't get her bred back in time to have a calf the next year. And if you want to be successful, it's got to be repetitive every year, every year, every year. Because if you skip a year, not many people can go 2 years without any income. So you have to have a plan to get your cows pregnant so that you can have a calf to sell. So I would say that's the biggest mistake people make is earlier, like I was talking about buying heifers. They want to buy a heifer, which automatically gives you 3 years of no income, or you buy a cow, and even if you want to buy a donor cow and you flush her, but you have no recips to put in the embryos, so what good is it to waste that money flushing when you don't have a good plan to put those embryos in? Question number 10, how do I know if cattle is right for me before I invest too much time and money? I don't know. You got to be half crazy and not scared to go broke. If you are absolutely in love with it, if you're passionate about it, if it's what you think about, then do it. If you think it's just a good idea and it's going to be a good place where you can put money and not much time and it's going to pay you back, that's where I would say you are wrong. If this is not an easy game, this is not a big margins game, especially when done wrong, it's one that you can very easily lose at. So if you're wanting to put money into this as an investment style, just know you're also going to have to put time. I'd say that's the biggest thing, is match your time with your money, with your knowledge. When all those things come together, you can be extremely, extremely successful. But you take any one of those out of the equation, and it's going to be a long, hard road to hoe. There you have it. That's your 10 questions. If this type of stuff interests you, click the link down below in the description, because I've created a Cattle Coach Academy course designed just for you. This will help you add value to not only you, but your operation to help you become successful. So thank you for tuning in. Check us next time and check out that course below.